Doke. All right, working with sellers. I think even if your personality is more prone to working with buyers, you need to take listings.
Amen.
We used to be so focused on this DISC personality test and trying to put agents who were, like high eyes with buyers and, agents that were more prone to sellers. It's great to specialize, but you need to have a diverse, balanced business. And listings are literally how you last in this business. And it's everything. It's how you develop your market share, your authority really in the community. It's how you build brand recognition, and it's really it's like a scorecard. Really, it's how you're rated by the community. So if you don't have this knowledge and prior experience and listings to showcase, then you lose credibility in the marketplace. So really the issue with people not wanting to work with sellers is not being able to have difficult conversations. We have not mentioned this week, but we need to talk about going towards conflict, always meeting conflict head on, buyers or sellers. But you think about this, and we talked about, this is a good, I think, statement to make. We talked about yesterday, don't generate buyer leads if you're not ready to convert them. Or maybe we talked about that multiple times. Just don't do it. You don't need a sales funnel if you're not going to do this. So don't worry about totally tune out this morning on seller leads if you're not prepared to tell a seller what they need to know, not what they want to hear. Brutal honesty. I've gone into a listing, it smelled like wet dog. So I sit down at the table and I just ask the seller, Mr. Seller, do I have permission to be honest with you? Sure, oh my God, they're starving for honesty. They really are. You got to trust me here. They're starving for it. Just ask permission first. And that way if they get PO'd, you can say, well, you told me I can be honest. You gave me permission. But here's the thing. If I don't tell this seller this house smells like wet dog, and by the way, he couldn't even smell it. He's like, I don't smell it. I'm like, it is strong. It hit me at the front door. If I don't tell him that, then he's not going to have an opportunity to make the best first impression. And this is like dating. Okay? I show up at a date, we go on a date, I smell like wet dog. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, just had an emergency phone call. Oh, the plumbing, the pipes are busted in my apartment, I've got to go. This is no different. You show up on a first date, you got your A game on, right? So you got to tell them, and it's difficult. It can be the litter box. Oh my gosh, that litter box. Cigarette smoke. Even if they go outside, what I see a lot of times is they leave the back door cracked, and it just creates this vacuum where the smoke just comes in. That's a huge no-no. It's a huge stigma. People, now they've come up with all these great things. So if you're showing a buyer and you walk into a home where somebody smoked, you can get that smoke smell out. The technology is getting pretty awesome there. But the mindset of the buyer is, I'll never be able to get this smell out. It's in the ductwork, it's everywhere. So that's what we're fighting against. People will walk in, smell the smoke, and go, this one's off, this one's out, let's go. There goes our opportunity.
I have a listing that hit the market this morning. I priced $15,000 lower because it smells like dog pee. And I told the owner over and over and over, and she can't smell it. And I keep telling her.
Yeah. We can't, we get immune to the odor of our pets. And it is what it is. But you got to tell them, we need to do this. So the natural, we've talked a lot about human nature this week. So the human nature problem with a seller is they want to put it on the market right now. Right now. Let's get it on the market yesterday. The key is we need to get it right as opposed to right now. We need to put our best foot forward, and just everybody's connected to the statement, you never get a second chance at a first impression. So use it in your dialogue. Do you not want to make a good first impression? Go back to the dating thing. We're going to go on a date. I show up smelling like dog pee and kitty litter. Like nasty kitty litter. You going to want to hang out with me? We're going to make out? No. No. Just be real and raw with them. I mean, that's what they need. Now, picking on agents here, that I'm not saying like implying agents are necessarily dishonest. We are just naturally yes people. Okay? We want to please. Why? Because this is 100% commission-based sales. And we're like, we need to get this listing by any means necessary. So you price it however you want, and we'll roll with the dog pee. And listen, just you never have to clean the litter box. I don't even smell it. I don't even smell a thing. And let's just move on. Let's get the sign on the ground. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yes, listing. So what happens? Why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad idea to take an overpriced listing or a listing that smells like cat pee and cigarettes?
It make you look bad as an agent.
Yes.
Because they're gonna sell it for less the longer it's on the market.
They're going to sell it for less if they get to sell it at all. If they sell it at all, sell for less. So if it lags on the market,
And then they'll blame you.
exactly.
And the rest of the neighborhood.
It all comes back to you. And then they'll go run. Listen, it's amazing. So Diana, the kindest hearted person I know, the thing she has to deal with in the mortgage business, people will lie to her on a credit application. Never had a bankruptcy, never been divorced, never paid, never done this, never done that. And then she's got to push closing and put out all these fires, and then they give her nasty reviews. And you're like, you lied. It's the same with us. The finger always comes back to us like it's your fault. And you don't get the referrals. So one of the statements you may want to use with sellers, and this is what, like, take control of this situation. Like, where a few things are going to happen. You and I are going to agree to work together, or you're not going to want to hire me, or I'm not going to want to take this listing. These are the three outcomes of the appointment. Like, I will turn down the listing. I'd rather turn you down now than disappoint you later, because I'm in a referral-based business. And I'm playing the long, we've talked about this, the long game. Yeah, I might get a sale here, but if I don't develop a positive, amicable relationship here, it's all for nothing. I need to work with you for life, and I want to work with all your friends for life. This is a much bigger opportunity here. And it's also about your net. I want to protect your net profit. So just tell them, like, listen, okay, you're pushing me to put it on the market. There's rotten wood. The fence is falling down. There's no curb appeal. We need pine straw. We need mulch. We need some blooms. We need to patch this dead grass. We need to do this stuff. And if they're like, I'm not doing it. Okay, so do you want to make $15,000 less? Do you want to spend $500 to make $15,000? Just hit them with it. That's what they're looking for. And if they don't, it's okay. Because it's going to be a painful situation. You're trying to push that square peg to the round hole. So, and that's like, you're like, I would never walk away from a listing opportunity. So real quick, before we get into seller leads, I'm going to come around and talk about this. Like, so when do you take a listing that's overpriced or smelly or in bad condition? So if I'm brutally honest, brutally honest with a seller. I'll say, listen, I'll move forward. We'll put this thing on the market. We'll do it. We'll rush. We'll get it on the market. We'll slap it on the market. But here's what's going to happen. It may not sell, and it may sell for a lot less, or it's probably going to sell for a lot less. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hold some open houses here, or I may or may not, depending on how bad it is. But I'm at least going to get sign calls. I'm going to pick up some buyers from the sign. So I'm going to win here regardless. There's going to be somewhat of a win here for me. But I'm telling you, I believe the market's going to reject its own price. But we can do it your way. We can even try for the first 30 or 60 days, and then maybe you'll you know, after you see the market response, maybe you'll, you know, put some more weight on my professional consultation here. So maybe you'll listen to me then. And if they're like, sure, we get it, then I may do that email thing. Go, listen, here's what we talked about, the listing presentation. I feel like it's overpriced. I feel like the condition is going to hurt us. It's either not going to sell, it's going to be rejected by the market, or it's going to sell for considerably less than what it's worth if you had done the updates I asked you to do. So just want to make sure before we move forward, we're all on the same page. It's that CYA email. Send it. Just take a few minutes and they reply back, yes, go for it. Go for it. Okay, seller leads. Let's talk about sources. Does anybody have any idea what they're going to do, where they're going to go to generate them?
FSBO expired, cold calls.
Your sphere.
All right. You guys are ready to hit it. All right, so FSBO expired. I'm going to put those together. We'll talk about why in a second. Your SOI, sphere of influence. Cold calling. We can call this circle dialing.
Door knocking around open houses.
I'm going to add home value leads. This is huge. So this is, we could talk about paid versus non-paid. Free versus having to spend some money on these. All right, are we missing anything?
Facebook, I mean, you can pick it up on social media.
You know, I would, one of the, I want to add this on here, your buyers. We cannot leave them out. I think a lot of times they get left out. All right, let's focus on these for now. This is enough. We only have 40 minutes to get through these. All right, so FSBO expired. Typically, these people typically share a common issue, and that's they've had a bad experience with a real estate agent. So the conversation
What is expired?
is not, so that means, so we list for 6 months and I don't sell it, it expires from the market, and the seller does not want to move forward with me. They want to start interviewing other agents, so they may just need a break. Okay, so expireds, you kind of break this down into new expireds
So is
and old,
it always 6 months or is it whatever the seller decides?
whatever the seller decides.
Okay.
You know, I'm trying to break into a new market. The marketing proposals I'm sending out are a 90-day listing. Give me 90 days. And then cancel it at any time during that 9 days.
On your old, so I've been flipping through pretty heavily in Midtown looking at stuff, and there's stuff that's expired in 2008 that was not sold since.
Mm-hmm.
There's no problem in reaching out to them, right?
Nope.
Because at one point they wanted to sell that house, and in 2008 that house was probably 90,000, and that house is now about 310.
Yeah.
And in Mobile, they went up and then they came back down and they're
Oh,
back up.
2008, was that a bottom here, or was that still up here?
Depends, like what time of 2008, but we were starting to trend down here in 2008.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. Let's break this down real quick. Let me stop.
A lot of things you can tell people is, hey, listen, I saw you try to sell your house in 2008. Prices are back up.
And over.
Because a lot of those people were under